I'm John Hinkle, the senior pastor of First Presbyterian Church. This is your Saturday morning preview of Sunday morning sermon. And it's actually on Saturday. In fact, it is 8:30. I'm getting ready to head out with our group who are going to the Stones River battlefield for our walking tour with Dr. Bob Hunt. Good news is it's not freezing cold outside, so that's good. But I got here a little bit early to go over my sermon again. It's a big day tomorrow. It's a huge day. We're not only receiving new members into the life of the church, but there's a congregational meeting at 10:40 where we'll hear a report from the ruling elder nominating committee on the slate of names they are presenting to the congregation for us to act on. And if you know anything about the Presbyterian Church, you know ruling elders are a big deal to us because our very name, Presbyterian, comes from the Greek word presbyteros, which means elder. We're a church governed by elders. We have ruling elders, which we're going to vote on. We have teaching elders. That's me. That's Bobby. That's Joyce. And together, ruling elders, teaching elders, we have been given the responsibility to seek God's will out for the life of our congregation. And that's really what point number 4, Barman kind of hints on and talks about, that it's the church's responsibility, that the business of the church is the business of the church and shouldn't be influenced by the state. Now, let's talk about that a little bit. Our text comes to us from that moment when, and I love how I think it's Luke, that talks about the mother of the sons of Zebedee. So James and John's mother comes to Jesus with a favor. Well, maybe it's not much of a favor, more like a request. And truth is, maybe it's not so much a request as it is a demand that her sons sit at his hand in his kingdom, one on the right and one on the left. Now, it's clear, if you're reading the text, that when she's speaking of his kingdom, she's speaking of an earthly kingdom, right? She thinks that Jesus is going to come in and throw the Romans out and reestablish the throne of David where he would sit and reign forever and ever and ever. But that's not the kingdom Jesus is bringing in, right? He's bringing in the divine kingdom. So Jesus looks at the mother of the sons of Zebedee and he tells her, you don't know what you're asking. And then he turns to James and John, who are clueless that Jesus is about to foreshadow his death. He says to them, are you capable, wanting to drink from my cup, right? What's his cup? That soon he will be crucified and die for the sins of all. And why are they clueless? Because they go, oh yeah, we're quite capable. So what does this have to do with the fourth point of Barman? Well, again, here is the mother of the son of Zebedee, James and John's mother, telling Jesus what needs to happen. This is what needs to happen, Jesus. I know better than you. I know what you should do. Well, that was going on in Germany at the eve of World War II, where you had the State Church of Germany, which was the Roman Catholic Church, and the Evangelical Church, which was a kind of combination of Lutherans and Presbyterians. And it was the state's job, and this is still true today, to gather the tithe from the people, not just the people of that particular church, but the people in that region, in that area, in that country, to collect the tithe for the state church so the state church could pay for the upkeep of the building and the minister's salary. Now, if you're a state church, that's a cozy situation, right? You don't have to have a stewardship season. How fantastic is that? Ross Hines would think that is spectacular. But you see the conflict, right? If the state is paying my salary, do you think I would find it in me to stand up against the state when I think it is erred? Maybe, but probably not. Could a church, a state church, rise up in opposition to domestic and international policies of the government, knowing it's the government that's keeping their doors open? Probably not. Maybe not. So much so that, as we talked about last week, the State Church of Germany said that there is nothing in contrast between the policies of the Nazi government and the gospel of Jesus Christ. Think about that. Point 4 of Barman reminds us that it's the church's decision and the church's decision alone on where the church will go and what the church will do and what the church will say, not the states. So I look forward on this fourth Sunday of October to go over point number 4 with you. For some, it's going to be a little wonkish, but that's okay. I think you'll get the point. I hope you have a great day, and shout out to Glenn Emery and Will Fraley. I know they're excited about this Saturday morning preview of Sunday morning sermon.